crew. If you are a self-confessed people pleaser, then this is the video for you. So if you know that you're somebody that spends a lot of their time trying to please others, and that's really important to you more than yourself, then you need to listen to this video. Being a people pleaser is really hard in this industry. So if you're in the industry of social selling, direct selling, network marketing, and you are a massive people pleaser, then it's probably going to be tough for you in many ways because you're too sensitive to pleasing everyone else. And if somebody has an opinion of this industry, or you've got a partner that's not too supportive of what you're doing in this industry, it can be really hard to get around that. So I just want to share some things with you that if you're a massive people pleaser, that you really need to realize around this, and some of the work that you might need to do around this particular topic, because it's huge. And irrespective of what we do in this industry, it's a big issue in this industry, but just for you as a person, take business out of the equation for a minute. Just think about you as a person. When you're a massive people pleaser, you generally end up leaving yourself behind. So we need to fix that. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about this, and you're used to me talking about social media, at the beginning of every week, I talk about something to do with personal development, personal growth, something to help you be a better version of you, because it's not all the fancy social media stuff that's actually going to help you be successful online. It's you. It's you, it's the way you think, it's your belief, it's the action that you take, it's, backing yourself, it's, all the things to do with you is what's going to help you be successful in this industry. So yeah, we want to know all the fancy social media stuff, which, 80% of the time is what I teach. But these kind of videos that I talk about, these kind of topics at the beginning of the week, this is the stuff that really makes a difference to whether you're going to be successful or not online. Okay. So if you are watching me live, please say hello. Oh, I just realized I'm not live in the group. Hang on. I need to fix that. Hang on, bear with me. If you're watching on Instagram, hello, good to see you guys. I'm just, I forgot to go live in the group. So now I should be live in the group as well. So sorry about that. I've just been talking for a few minutes, but I hadn't pressed live on the actual group. So that's all right. We'll bring you up to speed. But if you are a massive people pleaser, this is the video for you. We need to solve that. We need to get around that, especially in this industry. It is very tough to be successful in social selling, direct selling, if you are a massive people pleaser. So what you need to know about being a people pleaser is how detrimental this affects you. And if you're in this industry of social selling, direct selling, how it can actually have a negative effect on you growing your business. So I want to share with you the sort of 5 main things that you need to be really aware of if you're a massive people pleaser. So you can have a real good think about this, because we need to build some muscle around this, and you need to prioritize you, because when you prioritize everybody else and you do everything for everybody else and you want to keep everybody else happy, one, you leave yourself behind, not only kind of mentally, but can be physically as well. Okay, so it's really important to understand some of the, I don't want this to be a negative video, but some of the negative impacts that it can have on you as a human being by being a massive people pleaser. So just, be honest with me in the comments section. If you're a self-confessed people pleaser, just put me in the comments. Most people to some degree are. It's very rare for somebody to say, I do not care at all what anybody thinks of me, what anybody says. I do what I want, when I want, at the expense of, just, you know what I'm trying to say. It's very rare for somebody to not care at all what people think about them. And, most people are a people pleaser to some degree. Okay. Before I just go into the 5 things that I'm going to share with you, which are really important if you're a people pleaser to understand, don't forget next week I'm doing the free Reels Bootcamp. So 4 days, Allow about up to an hour for each of those days. I know it takes time, but I'm doing it for free. So it's a really good use of your time. If you haven't registered for that or you don't know about that, I'll put the link up on Facebook here for a second. That's the link where you can register up on the screen here on Facebook, my business page, YouTube. So helenmartinonline.com/Reels Bootcamp. So those watching you on Instagram that can't see that on the screen, it's helenmartinonline.com/Reels Bootcamp. If you have a look at that link, that'll tell you when it's on, what time it's on, and what's included. So if you need to sort of double down on Reels and get better at them and really try to understand them and the strategy that what makes them, or what would make your Reels successful, then register for that. So that starts this time next week, okay? But back to this week, this is the day where I talk about something to do with personal development, personal growth, because you're the one that's going to make your business successful, no one else, okay? So let's get straight into it. Well, let's see who's sort of confessed. Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't live in the group. So I was live on my business page, but I wasn't live on my group yet. But I've rectified that now. So hello, Dean. Hello, Jane. Hello, Janice. Good to see you here, Michelle. We've got Doreen as well. Hello, Julie. Great to see you. Doreen's self-confessed. Hello, Rick. Jane, owning up to it. I'm probably 5% people pleaser. That's not too bad. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. I'm often a people pleaser. Registered, shared. Well done, Debbie, for the boot camp. Keen to learn more about Reels. That's exactly the place that you need to be on the Reels boot camp next week. As a former performer, pleasing the audience was always the utmost importance. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm a huge people pleaser. And I respect the fact that you've owned that, Janice, because some people don't think they actually are. But when it comes down to it, if you're not doing the things that you know you need to do for you, you may not recognize it, but underneath it all, you're being a people pleaser. Because those that really have a huge amount of self-value, self-worth, you are the most important, and I'm not saying in a negative way, you'll be the best version of yourself. So if you're not being the best version of yourself and doing what you truly want to do, then there's some element of you being a people pleaser, I guarantee it, okay? So here's what you need to understand about being a people pleaser. So this is all according to research, okay? This is just not me making this up. This is all according to research, the top 5 things that are going to impact your life if you are a massive people pleaser. So number 1 is stress, increased stress and anxiety. People that are, always pleasing other people have higher levels of anxiousness and stress, because you end up trying to please everyone else rather than yourself, and you get stressed out about the things that you're not doing for yourself, or everything that you need to do for everyone else. You're just not prioritizing the things that you want to do, and it'll end up stressing you out, because somewhere along the line, you're going to stop and think about where you're not at with your health, with your money, with your business, with your passions, with your hobbies, all of those kind of things. You'll end up getting anxious and stressed about the things you're not achieving when you're too busy pleasing everybody else. So levels of anxiousness and stress will be a lot higher for those that are a people pleaser. And obviously that, you don't want that. People that also are people pleasers have a high levelness of anxiousness around deep down not standing up for themselves. So they know what they want, but when you're a people pleaser, you end up pleasing other people other than like doing what you really want to do or what you really stand for, because you think that's more important. And that will definitely increase your levels of anxiousness, because you're not, you're not being true to yourself in what you really want to do or what you want to achieve or what it is that you want to go for, or prioritizing your health or exercise or your business. So that brings, high levels of stress. And we don't want that, obviously. Number 2, you can end up losing your own personal identity in being a people pleaser, because you're not doing what you want to do. You're not standing up for yourself. You're not building what you want to build in the business. Like, I know there's some people listening to this video that would love to do more with their business, but they don't, because they're so worried about what somebody else thinks. That could be a husband, a wife, children, influencers, friends. Somebody's told you they don't support you in their business, or your partner doesn't let you follow through with what you want to achieve. And so, you kind of lose yourself and your own identity and what you want to achieve because you're not doing what you truly want to do for yourself. Can you understand that? Like, does that make sense? Essentially, you end up leaving yourself behind to make other people happy. And that's not a good thing. You don't want to leave yourself behind in your health, your priorities, exercise, your business, what you could achieve, how you show up on social media by, not doing things that you need to do, but you're worried about what somebody's going to think about it. You just lose yourself in trying to be somebody that somebody else wants you to be, instead of showing up the way you want to show up, or that that you would like to try to show up. This it happens a lot in social media, where people know that they need to show up a little bit more. They want to show up a little bit more, but they're so worried about, what somebody might think if they see them show up online, or they show more of their life or their family or whatever. It's like, what is somebody going to think? I can't do that. So you end up losing yourself by pleasing everybody else and what you think that they want, and you don't really follow through with your own desires and passions. And ultimately, you just end up losing yourself. And that's not what we want to do as individuals, obviously. Okay. Number 3, being a people pleaser can lead to burnout and exhaustion. So your energy levels can be easily depleted when you're worried about everybody else and stressed about what you're not achieving for you, or getting down on yourself for not achieving what it is that you want to achieve because you're too busy pleasing everybody else. It can be exhausting. One, worrying about what other people think, stressing about what other people think, knowing, like in the business sense, like knowing what you need to do, but you're not actually doing it because you're worried about what other people think, or all the things that you need to do for other people, that you're not showing up the way that you need to show up. So your stress levels are high, your anxiousness, and you're burning out because the mental capacity that takes from you is huge. And this is where I find people pleasers, people in this business that are thinking a lot about what they should do and know that they need to do. So they're in overwhelm a lot, but overwhelmed people do nothing. They just end up thinking a lot about, I know I should do this, I should do that. I want to do this, I want to do that. But you're so busy thinking about all the things that you want to do, but you can't do for whatever reason. And you're absolutely exhausted, but you're not achieving anything anyway. It's just such a vicious cycle. And people pleasers sit in that vicious cycle over and over and over again. It's exhausting. So you're not getting to where you want to go. You're not getting the results in any area, potentially, but you're exhausted because of the mental capacity that kind of takes in pleasing everybody else and thinking about all the things that you want to do, but you're not doing it. And then you get disappointed in yourself for not doing it. Like, that is exhausting in itself. So this is what people pleasers end up with. It's not a healthy thing. Number 4, even though people pleasers try to keep everyone happy, and you may overcompensate sometimes for what you think would make somebody happy, you're leaving yourself behind, like we've always talked about. You've probably got high levels of stress and burning out, in the process. But it can actually lead to, this is number 4, resentment and damaged relationships, because you're not standing up for yourself. You're not speaking up. You're not communicating what's important to you. Somebody says something that's negative and you just take it on board, or somebody says no to you for some and you take it on board. Like, you wear that. It's okay, like a husband and wife that's not supportive in this business. Instead of communicating, this is really important to me. Would you just please support me in this? This is something I really want to do for me, like those that have spouses that don't support them, in this industry. So even though being a people pleaser is just going with the flow with what you think somebody else wants or what they tells you, it can actually damage relationships and lead to resentment. So it can actually have completely the negative effect that you're hoping for by pleasing somebody. Because deep down it's eating away at you. And you're losing your identity, which is what we've already spoken about. So you're losing yourself in keeping somebody else happy because of their opinion. Does that make sense? Like, that's a big one. You might think you're keeping people happy by doing certain things for them or whatever, but you lose your identity and you can end up resenting people because you feel unappreciated. You feel like, you get walked over a little bit. You feel taken advantage of. And over time, that can actually lead to huge amounts of resentment. So you need to be careful if you're a people pleaser, because you might think you're doing the right thing on the surface of it, of keeping everybody happy, but underneath you're losing your identity and there's resentment building, and it can cause huge relationship issues if you don't communicate that with loved ones. Okay. Number 5, it is well documented and researched that people that are massive, massive people pleasers, and don't take any offense to this, have got a lower self-esteem and self-worth for whatever reason. It's not something we necessarily recognize outwardly. It's generally something that relates to our past of, whether that's loss or grief or how you were treated or protection mechanisms for how you were brought up or treated as a child. There's lots of reasons why people have low self-worth or low self-esteem, but generally that's established in something that's happened to you as a child, and you need to work on that. If you don't work on, so one of the reasons why I sort of share these types of videos is because in this industry of social selling and whatever, like, I know these videos that I do at the beginning of the week are not specifically about business, but you do have to have certain qualities as an individual to make it in this industry. Would you agree with that? Like, put agree if you know what I'm talking about here. You need to have certain characteristics in your personality and self-esteem and belief to just go for it anyway when people are negative around you. Like, you need those skills. You need to step into being a leader even before you're ready to be a leader. If you have a team of one, you have a team. You can't lead a team unless you lead yourself, and most people aren't even leading themselves. So there are certain personal qualities that we all need to possess to be able to build a big team to get the income and the sales that you want. Online, attraction marketing, how are you showing up? Are you being genuine and authentic? Are you attracting people to you? Are you building up the know, like, and trust factor? That all comes from you. It's not your company. It's not what you're selling. It's not your compensation plan. It's not your upline. It's not your sideline. It's not your mentors. That's you. How you show up online is you. The conversations that you have with your prospects, that's you. How you support team members and customers, that's you. It's all you in this industry. And that's why I sort of share these kind of videos, because if you have a low sort of self-worth and self-esteem and you are a massive, massive, massive people pleaser, there will be ultimately a lot of struggles that you're going to have with this particular business model, because it relies heavily on you and how you show up and doing the hard things. And when you've got a high level of self-worth and a high self-esteem, you'll do hard things. When you don't have a high level of self-worth and self-esteem, you'll bow out of doing hard things. Now, this industry is not, we can say it's simple because there's, certain simple things you can do, but it doesn't mean it's easy. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? So it's not rocket science. Like, anybody can come into this industry and build in this industry. It's not necessarily really difficult, but it's not easy. And the reason that it's not easy is not down to the company or the comp plan or the products that you sell or your upline or your downline or whatever. It's you. So just absorb that for what it is. If you are a massive people pleaser, at the end of the day, that is stemming back to your self-belief and self-worth. So does that need a bit of work? Just recognize that, because it's not until you work on those things that you will start valuing yourself enough to put up boundaries to stop being a people pleaser and do what you need to do for you with your health, your business, your relationships, what you need. So many people are stuck in relationships in what the other person wants for them, and they just lose their self in, their relationship, their marriage and whatever, because they just want to keep everybody happy. But you could end up losing your health in that process. Prioritizing the food that you want to eat, the exercise that you need to make time to do, but you're doing this for the kids and that for your partner and the grandkids and whatever, and you don't even prioritize anything for yourself. So self-worth and self-esteem, when you have a lot of it, you'll talk about your business confidently on social media and not care what anybody thinks. If you value yourself and your health so much, you will make time to exercise. You will make time to, make healthy food. You will make the time to do the things that you want to do. So I believe every human has got some level of people pleasing. There is the occasional person that says, I just don't give a, to what anybody thinks. I do what I do when I want to do, and I don't care who I hurt in the process. Very rare to come across something like that. And that can be the difference between just valuing yourself and being totally, totally arrogant. You don't want to be totally arrogant, but you do want to value yourself. You do want to value what you need as a human being, and you do want to value what you want to strive for. So in this industry of social selling and direct selling, where we are our biggest asset, again, it's not the company, it's not your upline, it's not the mentor. And that's what everybody blames it on. Oh, that didn't work because my mentor didn't support me, my upline didn't support me, or the company didn't have the right products, or the company did this and the company did that. I mean, yes, especially in this day and age, there are definitely variables there that can make a difference as to whether somebody makes it or not. I'm not saying there's not, but for the most part, it does come down to the individual and how much self-worth and self-belief you have to do the things that you need to do. So I'm not only talking business here, I'm talking your health. Value yourself enough. I'll give you another example just to finish this off. People who eat all the wrong things, don't exercise, don't look after themselves. There is definitely something missing with self-value and self-worth. Because when you truly, truly value yourself and you treat yourself right, you won't abuse things like that. You won't go and do all the wrong things for yourself when you truly value yourself as an individual, because you truly value your health. You truly value the food that you put in your mouth. You truly value the sleep that you have every night and protecting that. You won't waste your night watching TV until all hours of the morning. You'll actually go to bed earlier. Like, do you see what I mean? When you truly value yourself, you look after yourself. When you truly have value attached to the business that you're building because of the money that you want to earn for your family and creating a legacy a lot longer than you for your family, you won't care as much what those people say that don't support you. So don't live your life for others. Be very, very careful if you're a massive people pleaser to think about these things that I'm sharing with you in this video. It is, for some of you, it is a conversation that you need to hear and go, okay, I've actually got some work to do because I know I don't actually value myself because I give myself to everybody else except what I need. I'm leaving myself behind. Mind, body, spirit, business, the whole lot. So learn to value yourself, and it might be building up that self-belief in yourself. So there might be some personal work that you need to do. We all know what this industry like. Everybody says it's a personal development journey with a compensation plan attached to it. You've heard of that before? It's true, isn't it? Put true in the comments if you know what I'm talking about with that saying. This industry of social selling and network marketing and direct sales is literally a personal development kind of journey with a compensation plan attached to it. The more you believe in yourself, the more self-worth that you've got, the more that you just do what you know you need to do, even though it scares you, the more you'll get paid. And that comes down to self-worth and self-belief. Okay, so there's a lot to think about here. So for some of you, you just need to be really clear about what you want, what you're doing and what you're not doing, and how you want to shift that. It's about working on your own self-belief and your own self-worth. So when you're very clear about what it is that you know you need to do and that you want to do for yourself, whether that's health, business, relationships, communication, whatever it is, that you build up your self-worth enough to go, no, I'm worth more than this. I need to treat myself better. I need to dedicate more time to my business every day because I want this for me and my family and my legacy for my grandchildren. Like, value that. And when you value that, you go and do what you need to do. When you don't value that, when you're just getting lost in the mix of life and keeping everybody else happy or worrying what everybody else thinks, you lose what you want and you'll never earn the amount of money that you want to earn. Because you're focusing on everyone else externally other than what you need internally to be the best version of you, to build the best business that you can build. You cannot build a 6-7 figure business. Some of you might not want that, but you know what I mean. You can't build a thriving business unless you've got self-worth, self-value, self-belief, because that's what's going to take to make it happen. Okay? Does this make sense to any of you? Just put a number 5 in the comments section if anything I've said in the last kind of 25 odd minutes have resonated with you at all. I just hope it does. I hope there's one voice listening out there, somebody that's just like, you know what, I've got to think about this and I've got to make some changes because I'm worth more than that. Or I'm not living my truth. I'm losing myself in what everybody else wants for me, and I'm not building the business I want to build. I'm not looking after myself the way I want to. I'm just not valuing what I need. If that's you, then please think about, like, save this video and put me on rewind when you need to listen to this again, when you know you're letting yourself slide and you're not looking after yourself. Pull out this video and press play again because you need to hear it over and over and over again. You are worth it. You are worthy. You are worthy of great things, great health, great relationships, great money in your bank account, a thriving business. You are all capable of it, but it's up to you. It's not up to others to make that happen for you. As Mel Robbins says, no one is coming to save you. If you want more for your life, you want better health, you want better relationships, you want more money in your bank account, you want to leave a legacy for your family, that's up to you. But you've got to have a high level of self-belief and self-worth to go and make that happen. So my hope for you is that you do value yourself, or you start to really think about how you can value yourself a little bit more to go after the things that you need, that you want, so you can live happily and don't lose your identity in the process of keeping others happy. Okay? So, very true. We got a lot of 5s. Good to hear it. Doreen, thank you, Helen. I can relate to these 5 things as being a people pleaser. It was very beneficial to hear that today. Thank you for sharing that, Doreen. Thank you, Rick, as well. And, I look in the mirror when I have these conversations with you at the beginning of every week, when I talk about these kind of topics. I do need to look in the mirror sometimes. And when I'm sharing it with you, I'm talking to myself at the same time. No one's perfect. We've all got something we can work on, correct? So I hope that's beneficial for those of you that really needed to hear this today. So make sure you join me for my live videos. I've got more, the practical social media training we'll get back to, during this week as well. And don't forget to register for the Reels Bootcamp because that's next week. So forewarning, I will not be live on Instagram at all next week. I will not be live on my business page or YouTube at all next week. I will only be live in my free group delivering the Reels Bootcamp. So if you want to know everything, all the things about Reels and how to utilize them in your business. And I will say one thing, Reels gives you the opportunity to get outside your warm market. So if your warm market is not buying things off you, they don't want to join you in your business, and you need to build your audience outside your warm market, Reels give you the opportunity to do that. So come and join me for the free boot camp next week. I'm giving you a lot of information for free. I haven't done this boot camp for almost a year. So there's a lot of updated beneficial information for you guys to learn about Reels. So go to helenmartinonline.com/Reels Bootcamp for the dates, topics, all of that kind of stuff. And I've got a workbook for you, fully comprehensive workbook. You'll get with it all for free. So we'll be sending the workbook out this week. You want to make sure that you have that with you when we do the Reels Bootcamp so you can fill in all the answers. Okay? So I will see you later this week. Bye.